when that's connected to a purpose, that you have an athlete, you have a business person who is playing on a different level. And so you got to play with passion. And that passion has got to be connected to purpose. But you not only got to play with passion, I think you got to play, the second one is R, respect. You got to play with respect. I think respect is somewhat of a lost art this day, in this day and age. We're pretty good today. We're pretty good, our culture, our society, we're pretty good with tolerance. We're pretty good at being tolerant. And that's a good thing. Tolerance is when you put up with something you don't like. And I need people to be tolerant with me because I'm not always a likable guy and I do wrong things. And so I appreciate it when people are tolerant with me. And I want to be tolerant with other people. But respect is something different than tolerance. Respect means to regard someone with honor and dignity. And so when you play with respect, you have a respect for your teammates, for your coaches, for your opponents, for the game. But you understand that this isn't merely, you're not merely putting up with something. You're regarding this person, this game with honor and dignity that it deserves. It's been here a long time before you, will be here a long time after you. So you got to learn to play with respect. I'm reminded about how important this is. This little story, when I was in high school, I was on my high school basketball team, and we're playing a game one night, and at halftime we go in, and it's a close game, and the coach is giving us this pep talk, and we go back out to start the second half. Sure enough, back then you did a jump ball to start the second half, and I was the center on our team, and I jumped ball, and I lost the tip, so we go back to play defense, and they scored a quick basket. So as the center, it was now my job to get the ball in inbounds to our point guard, while the rest of the team ran down to set up the offense. And I passed it in, I started running down the right side of the court, didn't get very far because the cheerleaders were sitting over here, and I happened to be dating one of them, and so I looked over to her so she could see her man out here doing his thing, and she looked at me, and this intimate gaze was interrupted by someone having the audacity to call my name out. Frank, Frank. And I looked and I turned, and there was my teammate, our point guard, had gotten trapped by two defenders. And the rest of the team was down at the other end of the offense, down at the other end of the court setting up the offense. I was the only guy close by, so I had to turn around. I had to turn around and get in the passing lane, and when I did, having been distracted by my girlfriend, notice the shifting of the blame here, I took the pass from my teammate and took 2 or 3 dribbles to the wrong basket and shot at the wrong basket. I actually missed the left-handed layup, but I got the rebound and I put the rebound in. True story, we lost the game by 1 point. But I tell you that story because imagine this. Right now, after this whole thing happens, I didn't know what I did. Honestly, didn't know what I did, right? So I run down to the other end of the court thinking that I'm the man, not that I'm the fool. And to make a long story short, because it is a long story, I get down to the other end and I finally realize what happened. But imagine when I realized, imagine that moment of truth when I realized that I shot the wrong basket not once, but twice. Imagine if I had said, time out. Who says I shot at the wrong basket anyway? I mean, what about my personal freedom here? Who are you to tell me what basket I can shoot at? I want my, now we know that's ridiculous. Why? Because when you join the team, you have to submit to the design of the game. And the design of the game says you shoot at this goal and you defend this goal. The idea that I can do whatever I want on the court or on the field or in life is not freedom, it's foolishness. You got to respect the game. You got to respect people. You got to understand there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And for me to walk around this world on a football field, in a business office, and saying, who are you to tell me the way I should act or do? That's not freedom. Foolishness is understanding there is right and wrong, that there is a right way to do things, to be a person of integrity, to do things the right way, to serve other people, to put others before yourself. And that's playing with respect. Somewhat of a lost art today, but it needs to be recaptured by every one of us, including myself. We need to recapture that daily. And then lastly, to be a pro, I think you've got to play to make the most of the opportunity. It's about the opportunity that you have daily. You know, when I was named the quarterback coach for the Indianapolis Colts, you know, of course the question I get more than any, and if we want to do a Q&A, I'm gonna nip this one in the bud. The first question I would normally be asked is, what can you possibly teach Peyton Manning, right? But when I was named quarterback coach for the Indianapolis Colts, I remember I was getting ready for our first meeting with the quarterbacks, thinking, what am I going to tell Peyton Manning? And Peyton, he says, hey, I need to stop in to see you. I need to tell you something. And I said, yeah, just stop in. So he stops in my office, and I'm thinking, what's he going to tell me? That he's in charge. I already know that. But he walks into my office, and he basically says this. He says, Frank, I just want you to know I want to be coached. I want to set the tone, the tempo right now. I expect you to bring out the best in me. I expect you to challenge me. I expect you to help me become a better quarterback. Now, there's a lot of reasons why Peyton Manning is the person that he is and the player that he is. But one of the primary reasons he is what he is because that man makes the most of every opportunity. When he steps out on the field, he comes to get better. He doesn't take days off. And I wish I could say the same. I'm not quite as disciplined or quite as, he's a unique guy in some ways. But I also know this, that life, it's not an either-or situation. We're all somewhere on that continuum. And if I could just be growing a little bit more day by day and committed to growing, and that's what it means to make the most of the opportunity. My college coach when I was in Maryland used to say, hey, Frank, every time you step out on the field, you get better or you get worse. You never stay the same. You get better, so we need to go out and practice good habits. I'm reminded of a famous quote from a war general in which he says essentially this. He's talking to his troops. They're getting ready to go into battle, and he says, some may think that, what's going to happen out in this battle. And he said, but I can tell you this, you can know what manner of man you will be when you step into battle. Because no man becomes suddenly different from his habit or cherished thought. No man becomes suddenly different from the daily habits that we have, the thoughts that we cherish, that's who we are. We will not become suddenly different from that. So we need to develop those every day, that discipline every day, the privilege every day of trying to get better. And no matter what it is that we do, a better husband, better father, better worker, all those things, just kind of committed and enjoying that process. That's not a grind. Sometimes you hear about the grind. That's a joy to me, isn't it? Isn't it fun to grow? Isn't it fun to learn? That's exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait to learn. I can't wait to go into work. I wake up most days excited. Not everything goes our way. I've faced my trials and challenges as well. But generally speaking, that's the kind of attitude I want to have. I think that's what it means to be a pro. And I'm in process just like you're in process. And some days are better than others. But I think that that's kind of the track. I'll close with this story and then open it up to Q&A. About a story about a guy who I think epitomizes this